Hey guys, Mr. Kern here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a tail wave animation with this tail rig that we have here. I already went ahead and tried to animate it, and this is how it looks. Pretty slight, pretty simple, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete this and then show you guys how to do it yourselves. I may have it wave a little bit more than this, just so you can have a little bit better looking animation. But let me go ahead and delete all these. Cool. Okay. And also, I apologize if I cough or sneeze during the recording. I'm just getting over being sick, as many of you know. Um, but let's get to it. Okay. So this would be the base of the tail, which actually wouldn't move very much. When I was moving these, I was moving them maybe a degree of like 5. Maybe the other ones like lower down here can move more. I think I'm gonna adjust them to be like 10 just to see what kind of motion we can get with that. But yeah, with the base, I'm still gonna keep it about 5. So what you want to do is this one's just gonna be just rotate, which would be Shift E. So I'm gonna be using just Shift E for these, and we create a keyframe at the first one. We would go 8 frames and then move this. Let's do 5. And then since we would want it to come back all the way to this one, we would have to go over 16 frames, which would be 16 plus 8 is 24. And then we would go back this way, -5. Okay, and then we would go back another 16, which would be 40, right? Yeah. Okay, and then this one would be 5. And then since it's going to be going back to the middle, we would go another 8 frames, and this can go back to 0. Hopefully you guys understand the math behind that. If it's moving 8 frames this way, it'll be moving 16 frames, so we can go all the way from this side all the way to the other side. So 16 that way, and then 16 to get all the way back, and then 8 frames to get back to the middle. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that's this guy. We can work on this one. So this one, as we're going down here, I'm going to do what's called offset the frames, so that way we can get a follow-through motion, which is one of those principles that we talked about earlier in the year, and get that follow-through motion really pronounced. So I'm going to start, let's do 2 frames over, 1, 2, and then we're going to do Shift E, and then we're going to go 8 frames down. Actually, let's just start on frame 2, so it's a little bit easier. So we can go to 10, and then yeah, let's do, instead of 5, let's do 10. Okay, and then we can go 16, which would be 26 this way, which would be -10, and then another 16, what is that, 32, 42, which would be 10, and then we would do another 8 frames, which would be 50, and then this one would be 0. Okay, so then we have that one. This one, we would start at frame 4, 0, and then we would do 8 frames, 12, which would be 10 this way, 16 frames would be 18, 28, -10, another 16, 34, 44, and then another 8, which would be 52, back to 0. And then this one, we would start at 6, right? and then Shift E, and then 8 from that would be 14. So then that one would be, let's do 10. And then 16 from that would be 20, 30. So then that one would be -10. And then 16 from that would be 46. That would be 10. And then 8 from that would be 54. Back to 0. And then for this last one, you can move the last one. It doesn't really affect the tail too much, so I'm not really going to be looking for too much action on that one. But then we can change this one back to 48, and then we can play through the video. And there you have the tail wave. Feel free to, if you would like, possibly starting at one of these like endpoints here. Like if you wanted to start at frame like 8, where it has some sort of action here, so you can have the loop be continuous. That'd be cool. If not, you can just have it settle back to this point at like frame 48. You can do the math for the frames there. But yeah, this is the basic motion, and you can change. It doesn't have to be 5 for this guy and 10 for these. They can be whatever values you want, as long as you get the same similar motion of the tail wave and the follow-through action that you're seeing down here. Actually, let's see if we change this to, instead of 10, if we change it to like 15, -15, 15, 0, 15, -15, 15. See how that looks. Yeah, you get a little more heaviness motion down here and a little more stiffness up here, which is exactly like the motion of a real tail. So yeah, pretty cool. So feel free to adjust it to whatever numbers you feel would be best. But yeah, that'll be the first assignment, would be doing this tail wave, and then I'll have you guys also, if you can, go up here to the show button and then turn off NURBS curves, which are these curves that are on here. So that way, whenever you make the play blast, remember you'd go up here to the animation tab, playback, play blast, and then you would save it. But that way, when you do the play blast, it doesn't have the NURBS curves around it. It just has the tail. So yeah, go ahead and make a play blast without the curves on there, and that'll be the first assignment for the week.